only took almost 250 years, but the Brits finally have something to celebrate during the 4th of July weekend. It's lights out and away we go for episode 149 of the Eaton Asphalt podcast. All right. Big weekend for America, but also on a weekend probably that the Brits hate more than anything, something to celebrate.
Yeah, I don't think the Brits like necessarily hate it. I think I've read a stat that was like three country or once every 3 days a country celebrates their independence from England. So
Yeah.
it's probably just another Sunday for them. But yeah, 4th of July weekend, it's very big of the U.S. to give them something to celebrate. Good job on us.
Yeah. I mean, the entire weekend too. I know we'll obviously get into it, but like finishing Saturday with a 1-2-3 is pretty sweet.
It is very sweet. It was just a fun race, like fun to
Yeah.
watch on qualifying. Was it raining? Was it not raining? Like it's always fun when it rains. It's way more fun when you get psyched out by
It
weather.
kind of rains. Yeah.
Yeah. And people, it's like because two different teams are going to make two different decisions about which tire compound's the best, and one of them's going to look like an idiot. And boy, did we have some idiots this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When
it's
when
like
to switch over and what to switch over to were two big factors that it seems like, they're professionals. I don't think they really know what they're doing out there sometimes.
it's like the weatherman, dude. If as long as
Yeah.
you're right around like a third of
Yeah.
the time, yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, we're doing our job just perfect. All right, so we have no two for ones for the first time in three races. So this episode of the podcast can be relatively quick for us. We have just a recap, basically. So we have our hot lap recap presented by me, winners and losers, gambling predictions recap, and our race predictions recap. So let's get right into it with our hot lap recap. While Americans celebrated Independence Day and Logan Sargent almost scoring his first points of the year and second point of his F1 career, the Brits were celebrating a 1-2-3 quali podium and a 1-3 Grand Prix podium this weekend. George Russell, being the pole sitter and being the jolly giant he is over the radio after the win, was rather gloom, like the UK weather itself, when he had to retire or the risk of the car basically blowing up, apparently, with a water system issue on Sunday. Speaking of sad Sunday Brits, Lando Norris was downright depressed after ignoring all advice from his garage on what tire to pick in the final pit stop and chose the one that got him passed by Max to end up in third. I think McLaren team needs to remove probably all sharp objects away from his reach for the next few days. While we're on the topic of poor tire decisions, Charles was put on intermediates about, I don't know, just a good 10 laps early. Ferrari needs to do the same because, boy, these young hunks looked depressed on Sunday. Pierre Gasly put in a hard day's work by finishing just the formation lap. Sergio Perez continues to get beat out by the ferocious Logan Sargent during quals and finished a strong 17th out of 18 on Sunday in that fast Red Bull. Let's talk about the most impressive Ferrari driver right now, Nico Hülkenberg. Hulk securing back-to-back sixth-place finishes and now are only 4 points back from the RB team for sixth place. Finally, the cream de la crop, the meat and potatoes, the Indian food that weirdly is a British cuisine, Lewis Hamilton. After 2.5 years, the man finally gets his 104th career victory and showers the fan with champagne and lots of tears. That does it for our hot lap recap. Let's move on to our winners and losers. All right, moving on to our winners and losers. Obviously, I ended the hot lap recap. Lewis, don't have to really say anything more than that. I mean, you could tell the amount of joy and relief he got finally winning a race, and probably not a race that he expected to win. Broke the record for the most race wins at a single circuit with 9.
Yeah, beating out Michael Schumacher, that's like a wildly impressive stat to have, and you do feel like he deserved it. Like he deserved to be a winner. He got cucked out of a couple podiums, and then yeah, I feel like it was just this was his time. So good for him.
Yeah, like I'm glad it happened. I'm glad it happened in his home race as well. So good for him. Hopefully, we see a lot more of that the rest of this year. Our next winner is going to be Aston Martin. Second highest points finish in their past 9 races with 10. I think it was a 6-7 finish, both scoring points. Three of the previous four, they've had 0 points. So hitting double digits has to feel decent. They also have rumors that they are now the front runner to land Adrian Newey, which really doesn't mean anything at this point. But it's, I guess, cool for them to say if you're an Aston Martin fan.
Yeah, the newy stuff we're just at the end of the cycle where it's like we started. So it's like when you sell Christmas stuff in like September. It's just like we're done dealing with all this. I can't keep up. He's going to Aston Martin. Like I don't care where he goes. If he goes to
Yeah,
McLaren, great.
just
That's
let's.
great. If he goes to freaking RB, dude, I'm happy for him. But like he's just him and Carlos. I'm
I
tired.
was gonna say those two is just. I mean, I see the amount. Yeah, we said this last week. The amount of like, oh, it's a guarantee he's going X, and
Yeah.
then the next day it's like, oh, whispers he's going to Y.
Yeah. Oh, it's like how many times can we get you with this? And for me, it's like 11, so I need to stop.
There has to be a punishment if you were going to post incorrect something. If you guarantee, if you're like, oh, I've heard rumors or whatever, but when they're like, so and so is set to sign in the coming days, in the coming hours, and it be wrong, some there has to be some like remediation or punishment for the person that is going to go and publish that.
Like whatever platform you put it on, you're banned for 3 months. You know, what I
Ooh,
mean?
yeah.
It's like Twitter
Or
banned. You just a blog, like you just write for Autosport, you're banned.
or someone gets to write a fictitious story about you and post it.
Carlos or Adrian Newey gets to write an outlandish story.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. My other winner is going to be McLaren. While strategy ruined both Piastri and Norris's chance to actually win the race, they did come out with the most points this weekend. With this being said, as a Ferrari fan, Ian, that has been through the like multiple iterations of we have the car, we have the pace, we just keep doing dumb mistakes, it's gonna slowly eat you alive inside.
Dude, I don't know. Only seven. I feel like we're kind of on a roll, and I feel like we can't get stopped, dude. Life can only get better from here on out, as we've learned many times in the Formula One season. I think. I think it was probably like 5 or 6 races ago, where it was just like, damn, 80 points behind Ferrari. Like that's gonna be like that's a lot of points to make up. And we've had a lot of help just in like wild strategy tire decisions as we probably should have already closed that gap, but we're 7 points behind now just because of some blown stuff on our end. So it's gonna be a nice like I predict like you and me having a whose team is worse off, not whose team is better. You know what I mean? Like that kind of
Yeah,
competition.
yeah, yeah.
Like
Right.
oh, like whoever wins between McLaren and Ferrari is just going to be who's like less stupid, but both teams are going to give a good fight.
I think it's going to be a different. I think we're in kind of like different shoes. Last year it was Ferrari, seemed like a little bit of a better car, just kind of running into these. What are we doing? What are we doing? McLaren now, better car. What are we doing? What are we doing? Ferrari, worse car. Still, what are we doing? What are we doing? So like I'm kind of in the double not good spot right now.
That's the best part of the double negative as a fan is where you want
Yeah, we got it. It's got to turn to a positive at some point.
to.
All right, my last winner is going to be, like I said, Nico Hulkenberg has more points in the past 5 races than Charles, Alonso, and Sergio Perez. So, in a Haas car, being better than the top 4 cars, top 5 cars, pretty impressive.
Give him the Red Bull spot, dude. Give him the Red Bull spot. He's the newest on the list. I think it's like 6 people long at this point. Put him on that list. Red Bull.
They can't, yeah. I mean, Audi's got to be pretty excited, especially if they land whoever, a decent second driver as well. I wonder, yeah, Nico Hulkenberg being like the main driver at Audi would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know. He's done well enough where it's like contracts don't matter if you're on Red Bull. Just cut
Yeah,
the contract, buy him out, put him on Red Bull.
yeah. That does it for my winners. Any that I had left off?
You talked about it in the recap, but Logan Sargent, outside of out qualifying Sergio again, he now is officially in 20th place. So
Yeah, moving up to
bumping
above
on up.
Bottas, right?
Yeah, Bottas is now 21st in a sport that has 20 cars racing on the weekend. We talked about, yeah, no, that's the only one. I like it's how do you think Logan brings it up during team meetings? We're just like, I don't know if you guys saw, but
Yeah, yeah.
beat Sergio again.
Like this has to mean something, right?
Yeah, just like I mean, it's pretty impressive to beat like a Red Bull. Like they're the fast guys.
Yeah, I mean he's what sixth in the drivers' championship. He's like, hey, he's sixth. I'm now 20th, and I'm still beating him on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Something to think about.
Uh, or I guess you're going to losers next. We can talk about losers. I have
Okay.
another, but we'll wait.
All right. Yes. So moving on to our losers. I'm going to go loser Lewis of the future. Future Lewis kind of has to be kind of concerned with how Ferrari season is going and how impressive Mercedes has been. I'm sure he would take like a victory every single week. It would be nice to see that like the team that you're going to next year not place sixth and 14th, and also win the race. So yeah, I wonder what like what is going through his mind right now. He's like, did I have like the buyer's remorse kind of thing?
Yeah, I don't. I feel
Or
like
he's like, they gave me $100 million. I'll be fine.
I feel like like Lewis always like he has like the instinct, obviously, like racer's instinct. But I feel like this is more just to check the box of his legacy. Like he doesn't need to accomplish anything else realistically. He's not going to say that out loud, I don't think. But he's just like, I want to drive in the red car. Like the red car is
Yeah,
kind of the coolest brand that we have here. Like let's do that one.
I would say if he got eight a couple of years ago and solidified him being on top of drivers' championship total instead of tied, completely agree. It's like, hey, I've done everything. I've broken every record. I bet he's still in the back of his head. He's like, I want to be like standing on top by myself up there.
Yeah, that's I bet that's
And he's not going to get that. If he goes, he's not going to get that. He knows that.
I don't know, dude. Half you guys have signed half of Adrian Newey right now, is what it seems like.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, depends on the day. It's like kind of like fluid. It's 80% down to 10. You know, we're kind of low right now, it seems like. So we did just fire like our chief technical officer after 20 years. And then I think Aston Martin just hired him like this same day. So maybe some clear sign of like, hey, you guys take our guy, Newey.
Yeah, I guess. Adrian Newey, you seen that trend that like since everybody's working remote and like working remote doesn't have to be that hard. Sometimes people get multiple jobs. What if Newey
Oh,
just did like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday Ferrari, Tuesday, Thursday Aston Martin, like
he's like,
60%
no
salary?
overages, I promise.
Yeah, dude. I'll keep it. I'll completely.
I have two different ideas on cars, and they're both incredible.
I'll severance myself when I go back and forth.
Yeah, yeah. All right. I have also, like I said, Gasly. I just can't like think not going to a race at all probably sucks, but like spending all day preparing for a race and then retiring before it even starts has got to be like this was the biggest waste of time. That's just not even. I mean, he's been scoring points, doing well too. So yeah, I bet he had some expectations to be like I can at least compete somewhat, and then before you can't even line up in the start, and you're like, all right, let's retire the car.
Yeah, I mean, it had to come crashing down at some point for Alpine. Like they've been riding pretty high relative to what we thought what they were going to be for a while. So yeah, I don't
Yeah,
I don't feel bad for them because it's like you guys had a lot of fun. Like be
yeah,
happy for that.
yeah. I mean, one little like skid mark in the past 5 weeks. Hopefully, that's the only one, or it's just like the start of complete downfall again.
Yeah,
My last loser is going to be obviously he's just stuck on here. Sergio Perez. There's a clause in his contract that states two things. It can be void if he has more than 100 points, or if he's behind more than 100 points after the Belgian Grand Prix to Max. He's now down 137 points, or he's 5 places behind Max in the World Drivers' Championship. He's currently 5 places behind, so he's checking both of those boxes. Red Bull is only 71 points ahead of Ferrari. Not really a problem, I wouldn't think. But more importantly, 78 points ahead of McLaren. Uh, I don't think they can win this with just one driver. I think the last couple of years they could. So you would think that if this keeps closing the gap, a decision is going to be made probably soon.
yeah. He's P6 right now. Russell's P7. just 7 points behind him, and Lewis is P8, 8 points behind him. So he's one bad race away from being in P8 of the championship. While
They got
his
to be like by summer break if you don't show anything. Like we got to do something.
Yeah, and it's just hungry before summer break, right? Like
Yeah, I think this is the last one.
he has one race to make up 37 points and one place in the drivers' championship.
Yeah, I wonder if they enact on that. If he does, if he gets a top five, if they're like, hey, this is your saving grace, you're showing that like you're not complete dog water.
I bet they've given him an ultimatum of like podium
Yeah,
or bust for Belgium here because like yeah,
has to be.
the
Has
car's
to be.
not completely dominant, but it still probably should be good enough to not land you in, you know, outside of
It's second to last place in the
yeah.
race. Yeah, you'd think. That doesn't for my losers. Any others?
I also had Sergio Perez with those two contract points. I also found something interesting. So we had like a triple header, like back to back to back races. Um, who? I mean, I'm not gonna make a guess. First off, Leclerc and Perez. Perez had 11 points over the last three races, and Charles had 12. They got edged out. You mentioned it, but like getting edged out by Hulkenberg. Like Stroll being on there with 6 points and Alonso not being on there. It just like kind of made me it shook me up a little bit to be like, damn, Aston Martin is sucking more than I thought. I was always like, you see the bet in DraftKings where it's like both cars on the points
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Aston
yeah,
Martin.
yeah.
Odds are never that like long. Like you might be like,
Now,
"Oh,
yeah,
that seems like a good idea, but dude, they've gotten 6 points in the last, in the last couple races. So pretty embarrassing.
yeah. I think Stroll ties Hulkenberg for the past five with 12. So awesome.
Um,
Uh, all right, that does it for our winners and losers. Let's get on to our race and gambling predictions recap. But before we get to that, this part of the podcast is brought to you by the Cop Out Crusaders TM. Cop Out Crusaders is a fast growing AI powered consulting firm that will get you out of any jam. We work with people of all walks of life. With something as simple as getting out of dinner plans with friends, we will be the best route for you to bail without taking any responsibility. How is this possible, you ask? Well, our custom AI software, we run 10 trillion scenarios and find out the most probable outcome with the best solution. Need a solution for maybe a bigger mess? Easy. Remember, we're AI powered. So even just saying the word AI makes us one step better than the competition. We helped navigate a current F1 driver out of a contract with his sponsored team. Obviously, we're not allowed to name names. We have NDAs with our clients. So pretty another plus, but we constructed a sophisticated tweet that laid blame to those nasty French losers and kept this fella from a crocky scenario. So, if you know anyone that needs help out of a pinch, like if you know someone who's agreed to terms with a less superior team and he's proven that he's still capable driver in his later years and wants to probably stick with his much better current team, then you know who to call. Pick the Cop Out Crusaders. We know AI.
Thank you, Cop Out Crusaders.
All right, that does it for our ad, and let's do our last sector of the day: race and gambling predictions recap. All right, gambling. We are ice cold.
Yeah. I went down to one bet in the negative, minus 150, and doubled down on it because I was like, I just need a small win here. I need a small
Yeah,
win.
chip away, chip away.
Doubled it up, turned it into a big loss. Now I'm down. I'm 2-11 in my last 13 since
Woo!
Mexico, and down 5 units on the season.
All right. Yeah, I tried to play it safe with two half units. Driver to lead from second plus 250. Lando to win plus 250. Both wrong on that one. So I'm down to plus, at least plus, for a little over 4 units. So not looking good.
Looking
Not
good.
looking
Hey,
good.
it's summer. We have senioritis. It's summer break time.
Yeah, we're just
After the summer,
kind of like, yeah.
come
I
back.
did say a couple of weeks ago I did okay, like I think 2 weeks ago, but before that I said, hey, if I don't do this, I'm starting to do some research. I think I'm at that point to start doing some research instead of like going with the gut.
Yeah, I don't want to commit to that just because, We're about to hit summer break. Last race.
No, but like obviously that's an after summer break.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, this is
Well,
the
obviously not right after because it's like when you're starting out school, you got to get the rust off. So probably like 3 or 4 weeks after summer breaks, we're gonna go sicko mode.
this is like sophomore year of college. At the end of it, being like, "Yeesh, that was a tough year." Junior year, I'm coming back, and it's gonna
Everyone says
be
junior year, that's when the GPA shoots back up, right?
yeah, dude, just rocket ships. So yeah, and speaking of things that are rocket shipping, let's move from our gambling paddock to our race predictions. I was leading eight to
Keeping the hot
seven,
trend.
eight to five or eight
Five. Yep, there it is.
five
Yep.
going into the weekend, and I also got nothing right. So no gambling and no predictions right for me.
All right,
That's
we're on
all
the.
that
Are,
royal flush. So
are we going with it soon enough? We're gonna do it with the fade in gambling picks, maybe.
oh God, dude, that would wreck me.
My predictions actually didn't do too bad. I hit two driver of the day, Lewis. How many cars don't finish? Two. So now just 1 point behind, 7 to 8.
Nice.
And that does it for our quick and easy race recap episode of the podcast.
All right, we have one week off and then off to Spa, if I believe. If I'm right.
Sounds right.
I don't know what I was questioning myself. I'm 100% sure that.
Obviously.
Uh, yeah, but I mean, fun race. Like this has been the it would have sucked if the last leg of the triple header wasn't like awesome. But
Yeah.
Lewis storyline, George pole, Verstappen struggling like overall, McLaren getting up there. Like there, that was an awesome way to end to end this triple header. We got a week off and then we're in.
Yeah, I think 5 of the past 6 races have been won by a different driver. Max getting 2 of those. If this is what Formula One is like, I mean, we liked it when we've been in kind of the dog days of it with Lewis constantly winning, then Max constantly winning. If this is what it's like, where it's like kind of a question mark going into every weekend, I'm gonna freaking lose my mind.
Yeah, I'm in for this 100%.
This is awesome. This is a different sport.
All right, everybody. That'll do it for us. Enjoy the week off. We'll see you before the Belgian Grand Prix.
So yeah, so
See you, assholes.
Hey, thought you could leave without saying goodbye.
I used to say I live my life a quarter mile at a time. And I think that's why we were brothers. Because you did too.